undefeated. Undefeated. Who do you think that you are? When I tell y'all that I run things, y'all better believe me. Spin the earth on my finger like round ball on my globe trotter. That's easy. No lie.
What up, YTBC? So I was sitting here signing into my work stuff, and and before I get started, real quick, some people kind of felt some type of way about my follow-up to my LDBC, and sorry, I'm signing in still, so attention's a little bit divided, but my LDBC and the YTBC video, the part 2, I wasn't just, singling out anybody, and I know at the time I only mentioned like certain words against a certain group, but really I'm not tolerating it on either side. So, and it's my fault, it's just that was the situation that was at hand. That's why the only thing I said, but really I should have known better than just to say certain words toward the black community. I hate saying that because I don't really see color, but that's the way that everybody identifies it, so it is what it is. But I'm not gonna be tolerating any racist comments about any ethnicity, whether it be black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Middle Eastern, whatever the case may be. I'm not, European. If you're on this earth, you're, if it's a race on this earth, I do not want to hear or see, I should say, any comments in the comment section that are racially against them, racial slurs and things of that nature. So I just wanted to clear that up. I know I made it a point to say, I don't want to see the word black tards or panthers. I stand by that, but I also don't want to see words like cracker, whiteys, white devils. The word spick really has never offended me, but I don't want to see it just because I know it can offend others. Anything that is going to divide the community any further, I'm not going to tolerate, pretty much. So anyways, that being said, I was over here signing into my work systems, and it hit me this Saturday. Kieth, one-time Thurman, versus Shawn, Showtime Porter. 2 men go win, only one will win. So I'm excited. I'm like, it just hit me. Like, this fight just felt like it was never actually going to happen because fights get signed all the time and don't happen. And it's to the point where you have to say, until I see these guys in the ring with gloves on, I don't believe this fight is even going to happen. And not that I'm saying that anybody was ducking anybody. I'm just saying it just felt like this fight was never going to happen. Think about it. First time that this fight was talked about being made was back in August. We're in June. 10 months later, the fight finally happens. And neither of these guys have even fought in that whole time, because Shawn Porter fought in June. That was against Adrian Broner. And Kieth Thurman fought in July. I want to say it was July 13th, if I'm not mistaken. I had the pleasure of going to that fight, and it was a very, very good time. But either way, it's been almost a year since that fight happened, and he also has not fought. Now, this fight was supposed to happen back in back in March, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was supposed to happen in March, and did not happen simply because of a car accident. And I say the word simply lightly. I do think it was a legit reason. The airbag deployed, and I actually have a video that I made when all this happened. In the beginning of the video, I showed a clip where these guys put a doll on a steering wheel. They were trying to catapult the doll, and because they knew how to deploy the airbag, and when they deployed the airbag, the doll completely exploded. I'm not even kidding. If I remember, I'll put the link in the description. If you don't want to watch the whole video, that's fine, but if you're interested in seeing the part with the doll, it's actually at the beginning of the video. So you know, if, in the video, I actually did go into, a whole article about, problems that tend to happen, health problems that people tend to suffer immediately after, the coming months from being involved in an accident with airbag deployment. So, I mean, if you really think logically, it does make sense, because I heard a lot of people say that he should have still fought him, and I'm sorry, but I don't want to see, if it would have been Shawn Porter, because I know I'm a Kieth Thurman fan, but had it been Shawn Porter who was injured, I wouldn't want the fight to happen when Shawn Porter's not 100%. I want to see the best out of both guys. Because at the end of the day, are we boxing fans, or are we fans of a certain fighter, or are we fans or do we simply hate somebody so much that we don't care what condition, what health condition they're in? We want to see them fight as long as they lose. That's that's what you had to ask yourself. But there was also a lot of conspiracy people saying that they think a car accident was staged, and hey, it's a possibility. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna act like that's out of the question. I mean, I love Kieth Thurman. He's one of my favorite fighters, but I mean, it could have been, but I don't really take Kieth Thurman for the ducking type. A lot of people said that he ducked Errol Spence Jr. At the time, I just didn't think that fight I think there was some more development that needed to happen on Spence's part. Now that Spence has knocked out Algieri, I wouldn't mind it being after this fight. I think all these guys need to mix it up. All this stuff about when somebody loses that they don't get to, like, for instance, Kieth Thurman and Shawn Porter are going to fight. Let's say Kieth Thurman loses, okay? I don't think he will, but let's say he does. Well, now a lot of people won't want to see him fight Spence, and when I say a lot, I'm not saying everybody, but there is going to be a large percentage of people who will no longer want to see Kieth Thurman fight Errol Spence just because he lost to Shawn Porter. And it just doesn't work that way. I think we should want, as boxing fans, we should want all these guys to fight. If Kieth Thurman beats Shawn Porter, you're talking about the winner fighting the winner out of Kell Brook and Jesse Vargas. How about all these guys fight? Kieth Thurman fights Jesse Vargas, whether he loses or wins to Shawn Porter, and fights Kell Brook, and Kell Brook fights Shawn Porter again, and Jesse Vargas fights Shawn Porter. You know what I'm saying? Why does it always have to be as soon as somebody loses, you act like they should just retire right then and there? And it's like I said, there have been so many greats who have not been undefeated. And there's been a lot of people who've been undefeated who weren't all that great either. So I mean, you can't act like the O is the most important thing. But that's what a lot of these fighters are afraid of. Is I don't think they're really afraid to lose exactly, but it's the fans' perception these days once they do lose. You know, they act like you should just go ahead and retire, you know. And a lot of today's fans are just extremely brutal. You know, these are the same fans that because you are a fan of a particular fighter, for logical reasons, you'll be told to go kill yourself. Like, remember, these are the kinds of fans that we're dealing with here. So, everybody likes to talk about that these fighters are trying to build their brand, and it's very hard to build your brand when once you lose, nobody wants to watch you anymore. So, and I know, and I'm guilty of this too. I know the fans like to talk a lot of trash. We're just like, oh, well, they should just win then. Yeah, it's easier said than done because the other person in there is not really necessarily coming in just to collect a paycheck either. So, anyways, this is all the time that I got. These are just random thoughts, really. I'm just excited that this fight is finally going to happen. And to all my subscribers, anybody who watches my videos, or if you just so happen to stumble upon this video, hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Peace.
How you think you gon' stop the movement? You ain't that important, baby. I'ma keep moving. How you think you gon' stop